Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you all for joining. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different, and it's something I've been experimenting with, playing with, since about October 2023. And the idea behind this I'll unveil in a second. But I do believe after all that happened with crypto in 2023, even early 2024, these things called altcoins, i.e. everything other than Bitcoin, can be quite stunning. So let me assume, let's talk about Shadow and the new methodology. And of course, this is not investment advice. Thank you to the mods in the chat. And thank you to everybody for coming. And don't forget to subscribe. Unique content every day. And I bet you somebody else is probably going to copy this soon too. Anyway, this is my SOLALT methodology. The idea is real simple. You take the winners from the last bull run, like 2020, and you find the analog that's part of the consensus trade with a better technology, better value prop, better tokenomics, etc. And then you do a relative value comparison. And then you see if you're going to invest or not. And remember, what we're doing here is we're looking at, again, new tech, new product market fit, maybe new technologies, new ways of leveraging compute and AI. And that's the idea here. Now, also remember, I have to stress this, anything can go to zero. We're going very far out on the risk curve, which is normally against what I do, but people urge me to do it. So I'm doing this. So for example, for me, if you look at my SOLALT portfolio, it's now about 4.7% of my pure crypto holdings. It's tiny. If it goes to zero, it doesn't affect me. So everybody, please allocate accordingly. All right? Remember that. Now, I did a detailed review of this early December. Should I buy a Shadow token at the time? The token was about 60 cents. It's now about $1.10, $1.07, $1.06, $1.05. I don't know. Price goes up and down all the time because these things are volatile. But let's jump into why I liked it in a quick. I do believe in decentralized storage. I think it's a massive opportunity for not only crypto, but the whole market space itself as things move towards the blockchain. And Shadow is at the heart of the Shadow ecosystem. And they provide a whole way of kind of ensuring in a very decentralized way you can place to store data and also for a network to provide capacity and earn from that capacity too. So I've got 10 short reasons why I like this. And by the way, I'm going to follow the same kind of structure and I'll try to go through it really fast, but there's a lot to cover. But the 10 quick reasons, and if you want all the detail behind Shadow, go check out my video I'll add here later of the deep dive, should I buy? But these are the top 10 reasons I do like it. First of all, decentralized storage. The ShdwDrive is powered by the Shadow token. It is a decentralized storage solution that is secure, private, and censorship resistant. This makes it a very attractive option for those seeking a more robust and reliable storage solution. In addition, it has a very strong community, and the leadership team is outstanding and very open and transparent and helpful. I like that. They have innovative technology. Shadow token is built on technology such as Dagger, which is a scalable and bandwidth efficient layer 1, layer 2 hybrid. And it also has a custom consensus mechanism designed to orchestrate distributed systems. The ecosystem is growing. I'll show you some of that in a minute. It has lots of competitive advantages over the competition. It's better, cheaper, faster. And there's also reduced communication overhead and, of course, lower cost for users. The development team is strong. They are in the process of testing the beta version of version 2 as we speak. And, of course, there's tons of real-world use cases. Hosting, CDN, social media apps, and more. And it also has a token burn mechanism. And this is in place, which can help reduce the overall supply of the token and increase the value over time as well. And the fully diluted market cap is small. It's under 200 million. So it's not a big play compared to some of the competition it's up against. And they have a strong media presence. So they're kind of the quick 10 reasons why I like it. But we're going to get into some more other details now. Now, I was surprised when I look at the Shadow nodes. Heavy concentration in mainland Europe. Very, very heavy. And these little green dots highlight where the nodes are active today on version 2. and the test site, not the full site at all. And in addition, there are 512 nodes in this latest version with about 927 terabytes of data. Thank you so much, Anne. Now, the business model. This is kind of key. Once Shadow version 2 is deployed and the team will go into full sales mode, they believe they have crafted tokenomics in such a way to ensure that the price of Shadow increases alongside the amount of user-generated growth. And remember, the users and the people running the nodes are incentivized to bring more people on because it's very generous. And when V2 is fully deployed, 75% of the revenue generated by storage users will be distributed to the Shadow operators running the nodes, and the remaining 25% revenues will go back into programmatically buying back Shadow in the open markets and deposit Shadow into Shadow operator emissions pool. So it's a very unique structure, a very fair structure, and also could be very lucrative for the node operators down the line. Now, the team, and a shout out to Frank as well, he likes to talk about like Bitcoin was created to decentralize the financial infrastructure and revenues monopolized by big banks. Well, the vision of Shadow was created to decentralize the technology infrastructure and revenues monopolized by big tech. So this is a disruptive play, and we like disruption. It's one of the reasons this is the number one pick. In addition, Roadmap has some interesting, cool things going on too. So one of the jokes is, imagine if Filecoin and Akash had a baby. Well, they're planning some things to kind of deploy compute on part of the Shadow Cloud services. Basically, it could be a one-stop shop for decentralized storage and also compute. That will be the back half of 2024. And also, they plan to roll out capability to utilize mobile phone resources, including Saga Phone behind the scenes and other operating systems, Android, iOS, etc. So we could be going into an area where you have your phone at night just simply running, offering compute for this network too. Now let's look at the competition real quick. Covered this once before, but I'll share it again. A couple of the names you may see, but we're going to focus on one name, and that is Filecoin. They're the leader in file storage. They're number 33, number 34 in market cap right now. And they have a market cap of $2.73 billion and a fully diluted market cap of nearly $11 billion. And Shadow is much smaller than all of these, with the exception of BlueZell. The market cap is kind of equivalent to BlueZell as well. Now, let's talk about some risks too. Obviously, competition is a risk, and the incumbents are there. They are strong. IFPS is the Interplanetary File System. It's peer-to-peer distributed file system to connect all devices. Then you have Filecoin, which I mentioned, which is the 800-pound gorilla in the space, which is the decentralized storage network that turns cloud storage into an algorithmic market. And then Arweave is kind of a new player, but from the last bull run, is a storage solution that backs data with sustainable and perpetual endowments, etc. And your data is covered forever. But these things are expensive compared to Shadow. And as I believe, disruption happens when you have a better, cheaper, faster solution. That's part of what I call the black hole theory. Now, there are risks. The team are working on a new version right now, version 2, and the beta is up, but still, there can be bugs along the way. But the team is very confident that they're going to get it out in June, if possible, and then it'll be a game changer. Then the business goes full bore into growing fast. You got to weed out the bugs first. In addition, I did mention better, cheaper, faster. Here are some numbers. Shadow's drive costs are estimated to be about $0.009 to 2 cents per gigabyte. And when you compare that to the rates of Filecoin, that's about $30 per terabyte or 3 cents per gigabyte. So it's quite a bit cheaper. And Arweave is about $8,200 per terabyte at the time of this study as well. So very expensive competition. Now, this is another key point too, is, I did mention before, no VCs and a very, very fair IDO when they launched, which is good. And I did cover all the tokenomics and everything in the past, so I will leave that for now. But I do want to get into some of the comparable notes too as to why I believe there's upside. every asset has a price. Sometimes things are going to grow into a market and have the potential to be very big. This is why I think this one is interesting. And in full disclosure, I forgot to mention I do own a little bit of Shadow. I've never owned Filecoin. But you can see here, just a relative market cap basis, Filecoin has 17 times the market cap of Shadow. And on a fully diluted market cap basis, it's 54 times the fully diluted market cap. So you can see, wow, how come Filecoin's been around for a long time and still has a lot of dilution to come, which is kind of scary. Now, we do have this new model as well. We've built out kind of like a mini compendium for comparing old to new. OG is kind of what I call the original gangster, and we compare it to the new version. So we've got a massive table of all the old cryptos with all their detail, and we compare them to the new. And this is just some of the summary data I want to share with you all as well as to why I believe I'm excited. So first of all, if you look here at the OG, which is Filecoin, and the new, which is Shadow, so we can basically face off, I like face-offs, face off two different projects, old versus new, or even new versus new if you want. You got the price per the token, $5.49 versus $1. The market cap 2.73 billion versus 160 million of circulating market cap, and that is just a lot smaller. Then we look at some other fundamentals too, things we like to look at like inflation. And the inflation for Filecoin is 15.17% per year. The inflation for Shadow token is about 4.85%. And that might even fall further as they start burning more with more adoption. And in terms of whale concentration, this is really interesting because Filecoin's been around a long time. But you can see the whale concentration is 79.3% of tokens are held by whales. Whereas with the new token, Shadow, which is very, very new, it just launched literally a few weeks ago, is only 66.9%. So that's another very interesting point. So from those perspectives, you can see already inflation is lower with the newer token, which is very bizarre. It should be normally the other way around. And the whale concentration is also lower than the long-standing player as well. In addition, we have, you can take this data and interpret it any way you want. But what I like to do is look at comparative market shares at a point in time like today. So we have Filecoin, which is far off the all-time high. But if hypothetically, you have Shadow getting to half of the market cap of Filecoin right now, today, that's an 852% upside. If it matches the existing market cap, that's 1700%. So again, we don't know what's going to happen, but I would like to also remind you that Filecoin was very expensive very recently. It did hit $4 billion at the very beginning of this year. And it's interesting. I've never looked at market caps on the ATR model, but that's what we're looking at here. So you can, so it acts just like the price of a token, which isn't too bad at all. So it would be the price and the upside would be a lot higher if Shadow gets to half of Filecoin's market cap. Again, it has better tokenomics, etc., better technology. It's cheaper. It should be adopted logically, if they can get Dagger version 2 to work very well. That's one of the risks we covered earlier. Now, in terms of price predictions, again, if they say they don't get to half, but they get to 10% of Filecoin's market cap, the price target would be $1.72. And if they get to 20%, it'd be $3, 30%, $5, 40%, $7, and 50%, $8.60. So I do believe it's very feasible over the next 2 years, maybe 3 years, they get to $5.15, which is a very nice return for an asset that's just basically $1 right now as we go forward. Let's look at the chart and see if we can see anything special here. It is volatile. It goes up and it goes down. Those little green flags went to buy and red flags went to sell. So it has been in that tight range, running between, say, $1. When I did the first little yellow arrow or green arrow you see there, that's when I did my Should I Buy video, and it was about 60 cents. And then it went on a rampage up to about $1.80. Now it's fallen back down to $1, and that is probably, for where we are in this current market, not a bad kill zone. Let's look at the pair chart with Solana. These things are pretty tightly correlated, and they do move close together, but the typical ratio is about 0.011 as a trading pair. And by the way, everybody, I did drop a link. There's lots of shadows out there. There's lots of everything out there. If you're looking up like a Flux or whatever, people spin up meme coins, or many things have the same tickers. So make sure you vet it first. Make sure you find the Solana pair. I did drop a link below. You can go to Jupiter, jup.ag, and just search for the pair. It'll show you the bona fide legitimate asset, and then check it as well. Also, you can go to birdeye.so and check it there too. Now, there's other good news as well for the team. They are looking for targeted listings early 2024 across Coinbase, Binance, OKX, Kraken, KuCoin, and Bybit. All hopefully Q1, maybe Q2 2024, and all applications have been submitted, and KYC and AML verifications have been cleared. So that could be big. It's always good to get into a token before they pump. For example, Honey was just listed on Coinbase, which is another Solana altcoin as well. We'll find out if we're going to cover that one too. And you can also, these are the pairs you need to look for. You can go to Jupiter, CoinX, Orca, Radium. They're the place you can buy it now until it gets listed on the big centralized exchanges too. So conclusion, everybody, and the very first one, let me know what you think. Is it too much detail, too much numbers? Let me know, but I do believe Shadow is a better, cheaper, and faster than the competition. I do believe it's going to benefit from Solana ecosystem growth because that is the consensus trade. Despite what other people will tell you, there is only one Solana. That's why I'm focusing on the Solana ecosystem now and finding the analogs. Shadow is also critical to DeFi, smart contract, and AI space, and they will be doing AI compute as well. It is modern, it's scalable, and it has the speed and power of Solana and the efficiency and the effectiveness too. Super fast, solid tokenomics for such a new token. Very impressive. Very impressed with the team. And price predictions are conservative. Maybe $5 in 2 or 3 years. I know that's not exciting to many, but it could go a lot higher if it does eat the lunch of Filecoin as well, based on what I call the black hole theory. We've seen how things like NFT volume, DEX volume, etc., TVL can move really fast in this space. So we'll see if decentralized storage does the same thing too. But remember, this is a cool little thing from Niels Bohr. Prediction is very difficult, especially if it's about the future. Again, this is not financial advice. It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. Anything could blow up tomorrow. But it's good to see things like Bitcoin rebounding today as well. And I do believe this is one of what we call a faster horse as well. So big thank you to everybody on Patreon too. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're interested in me doing more of these, because I do have at least 9 to 11 more planned if you're interested. And thank you all for coming. If Solana altcoins or altcoins themselves aren't of interest, again, let me know too. I'm open to all ideas, but I work for the team in Patreon. Thank you everybody for coming, and thank you to the mods in the chat, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.